Hello everyone, today I'm going to show you how to use the vegetation tool in CryENGINE. This tool allows you to place single to a large amount of objects to your level. To do this, you'll need to open the terrain option, which is this one, from the rollout bar, and select vegetation. Here you can see I have various categories that I have created. For today's tutorial, I'm going to show you how to create a new category and how to add objects to them. To add a category, you'll need to click this icon, Add Vegetation Category. Here we'll need to name that category. So for today's tutorial, I will name the category Forest. Like that. Press OK. And you can see we have a forest category created. To add objects to it, select the category, and this first icon, Add Vegetation Object, click it, and we are presented with a window that we can select various objects to add. Here you can see folders with objects that we can add. So we can add, in the natural folder we have grass, rocks, plants, trees and other types. In vehicles we have various vehicles. Characters, we can add humans, animals, weapons. Here for these purposes I'm gonna open natural and then the vegetation folder. Here you can see we have 5 folders with various trees and other plants. The distance tree folder has trees inside them that is very useful if you want to create an area where the gameplay will not be happening. So for instance, you can see I have here used vegetation tool with distance objects, trees. Here painted them in order to make the map look better, and as well as because these distance trees are very easy for the game engine to render, and it saves a lot of frames per second. And for instance, if I had these distance trees with trees that are like these ones right here, the frames per second will drop massively, and the gameplay will be very slow when playing. So to add trees like these ones here, we will need to let me get that open back. We will need to select vegetation, then rocky ravine, and then here we have various trees that you can select and browse through. I like using the breakable spruces because when you paint them on the terrain, and if you jump into the game and start shooting them, or you make explosions or drive with a car through them, they will break, and they have physics basically on them. The trees that I like are breakable. This one, the first one. To select various objects at one time, hold down Control button on the keyboard and then select other ones. You can preview the objects here, and then this one, no, not that one, this one, and then this one, leaning. Once you selected all the objects that you want, press OK, open, and here the objects are added to the forest category that we have created. If you want to place an object or tree like this one, you need to change few parameters that you can find here. You have to change the size, because if we paint the tree now, the tree will be very tall and huge, and it will not fit with this area that I'm building right now. So I think if I put a 0.2 and then paint it, it will be alright. We can also take this option, which is random rotation, where when we paint the trees they will be randomly rotated, so it will create the illusion of more realistic environment. Also we can tick this box, align to terrain, which allow us to the trees to be aligned to the terrain. Also here, bending. This bending option allows us to bend the trees So if you have weather or wind created in the map, this bending option creates the illusion of that when it's windy the trees are bending, but this if you increase it too much it will not be realistic. So the maximum that I like putting is 1.5 and the minimum is 0.5. So press enter and you can browse through here to change the other parameters that you want. Also if you scroll down you can see the preview of that tree. You can see the tree is pretty huge here, so if we paint it on the map, so to paint we will need to go scroll back up at the brush size, we need to make it 1, press enter on the keyboard and then click on paint objects. And now if we click once we have a tree there painted, one tree, like that. Vegetation 2 also allows us to create various objects at one time. So if we select this one and that one together and then change the size to this one, yeah, and then just using the mouse start drawing, click and hold it down and start drawing, you can see the trees are added like that and they are randomly added. So we have various small trees and various big trees. The big trees we can change the size like that and start painting them. You can also select the whole folder, change the size if you want, put it a bit down and just start drawing it like that. But this is very useful if you want to in a bigger area, if you want to do it. So in this little section here we will not be needing that much trees. So let me just get rid of them like that. You have a leading tree 0.3 this time, bending 1.5 like that. If you increase it you can see how the trees are moving, and this is not that realistic, so I'm just gonna put it back to 1.5 like that. And then you can always edit these trees. So to edit the trees you need to make sure you have this follow terrain and snap to objects button pressed, click on vegetation and then click on the tree. If you want to rotate it just using this tool, rotate it a bit and you can just move them around. Also you can begin to add rocks. So whoops, add rocks. So if you copy this here and that, in previous videos I have shown you how to place objects using brush or geometry, so I'm just gonna do this quick here by copying the rocks like that, press escape. And if you want to add other stuff to make it even more realistic, like this section here, we can again use vegetation. So vegetation, and then I have a category created here, it's called scrub, and then type one here and paint. Then you can see now I can paint like these bushes, grass looking objects. This makes the area more realistic and feel the environment is beginning to come out more. You can see here how I've used vegetation, trees with bushes and other stuff to make this area, as well as these areas here. It is very useful vegetation, as you can see. vegetation tools allows you to add various of other objects, not only trees, but you can add various other. It's up to you. You can play around with them and see what you like. Thanks for watching my tutorial, and see you next time.